On Barry Charles News tonight, Jimmy Kimmel back on the air. But is it fake apology or a sincere one? Also, we're going to look at Gout Gout, the 200-meter semi-final 17-year-old young star. Is he the next Usain Bolt, or is it time for him to move on? And a quirky one to finish, Stephanie McMahon. Does she deserve to be in the Hall of Fame being a family member? Let's get to it all right here, right now on Barry Charles News. Yes, Jimmy Kimmel back on the air last night. What do we think about it? Absolute rubbish. Yes, absolute fakeness to the hills. He didn't even say, I'm sorry. It was absolute pandemonium out there the other day. He showed a lack of empathy. Was he a crybaby? I think so. And let's just check out his apology now as left-wing America continues to go woke. Let's check out his monologue around the Charlie Kirk assassination apology right here, right now.
Is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind. But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do.
Good old tears to me, if you ask me. Absolute joke. Didn't even mean it. It was a very sad day in the news cycle when he came back. It didn't even say, I'm sorry. He just goes, yes, I talked. I made a post on the day that it happened, and that makes up for what I said on the TV a couple of days later. Absolute joke. Yes, joke. But yes, what about Bob Iger and all this in Disney? Disney is putting himself on the side of a totally democratic side, not a wholesome America. This is the problem we've got right here, right now. Bob Iger didn't have the gumption to say, see you later, mate, time to go. We need to go in new directions as our ratings continue to drop and drop every single year. What are we doing? No, the circus continues. Yes, Jimmy Kimmel continues on the air, and he's not even that funny. I mean, all he's talking about is politicians all the time. If he had pot shots, as I've said before, on the other side to the Obamas, the Kamala Harrises and the likes, with equal talk on both sides of it, instead of it all one-sided, then I would say maybe. But that's something Disney is going to have to deal with continuing forward as they continue to fail as a company as well. Do they want to continue down this path of failure, or do they actually really want to turn it around? I know this will not happen because they get paid by the Democrats to do all this stuff, by people that are on the left, so he continues to go after Trump, the Kirks and all this. And I feel sad in this day and age that you have people celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. TMC, allegedly, the employers, was cheering the death of Charlie Kirk while they're watching a car chase. And they came out and said that the car chase was why they were clapping. There was nothing exciting about that car chase. It was absolute forbidden. That is what, I mean, this is what the world is coming to, the woke of the left. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the right side as well. There's wrong with either side of the field. But it's about coming back into a debate situation. If Charlie Kirk took over the show, God rest his soul, the ratings would be off the charts, and Gutfield would not be leading as he is right now. Jimmy Kimmel is over the hill, over the show. He needs to retire and go on to politics. But again, I guess if he keeps getting paid the money, you're going to continue, aren't you? But yeah, interesting to see how this continues going forward. It's just very, very sad that this come to light. That I'm a favour of free speech, but I'm not a favour of just ridiculing one side and not debating the other side. And that's what Jimmy Kimmel's doing. He's just berating the right, but what about the left? Have a bit of equality in your arguments, not just coming from one side. That's what I'm going to say about the matter. Basically, Jimmy Kimmel's back on the air, and nothing is going to change. He did not say sorry to Charlie Kirk and the family. It was very sad that this didn't happen. absolutely, he did not come out and say what he said was wrong. This is sad for him. So he believed, and so did ABC and Disney allegedly believed in what they're saying. Because if they really thought there was something wrong with what he was saying, it wouldn't have gone to air, because they would have known the monologue before he went out there, and they didn't say, don't say that because it could be real bad for you. They let him say what he did about him and joking about Trump, not even caring about the death. Well, it's come back and been you on the behind. Yes, it has. Well, that's enough of that. Let's get on to some more positive talk. Gout Gout. Yes, Gout Gout, the fastest teenager alive. Yes, still at school, and he went a good time in the semi-final. Nothing out of this world, but for me, the last 50 meters is where I have hope that he could come up to be one of the better runners we have seen, and definitely the best runner out of Australia ever. Whether he's up to the Usain Bolt tag, that is for others to decide. I don't think so. I think he could be a very good runner, but whether he can get up to gold level standard, that's up to him. But the good thing in his finish, we see he is finishing off strong in his races, which is a positive, because you're finishing off strong with others getting weak. He's finishing off strong. So if he can improve that start, look out. Gout Gout could be the next best thing. But to think he's going to break Usain Bolt's records, I don't think so. But could he get up to being maybe a bronze medalist? Potentially. It's up to Gout Gout if he wants to go to that level. We will find out. But let's just check what the Noah Lyles, Usain Bolts, some of the other people are saying about him, and check out his run, a couple of runs he had in the semi-final, as well as one of his earlier runs when he blew his young teenagers out of the water. And I'll be back soon.
Gout Gout has broken the magical 20-second barrier.
We knew we'd see this in the final 50, so let's watch the young superstar rise. He's flying. He will be Gout of this universe. Unbelievable. 2.2. It won't count in terms of a record, but what it will do is says, hey world, this is me.
Under 18 world record, which is 10:17. He has the Australian record. Previous Australian record was 20:06. He went 20:04. So because of him beating the field by such a large margin, but it's the fact of the technique. And I watched him come off the turn and how he handled it. He ran those races like a professional athlete would run those races.
The 17-year-old looked right at home in amongst the fastest runners in the world, finishing strongly to clock a time of 20.36.
To go, Lavelle's going well, coming through to Bogo. This is where Gout Gout will have to come through. He gets to fifth. Can he get to fourth? Through is Lavelle. He wins it. Very close for third. Gout Gout will run fourth, so it's going to be relied on time, 1978.
Times he's running now, and he's really been doing well. That's something that you love to see, because you want athletes to do well.
And more talented than I was. He's an amazing kid. You know, you got a great head on him. You got a great team around him. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how he develops.
What do I think about Gout Gout's future? Where do I see him going? Where do I think he's a chance of being a star in the future? I'm looking at it. If his starts are going to be slow, I don't know, Elias is slow, and you can still improve your speed to be the best. But to me, even Usain Bolt wasn't, so you can't say that he can't be a champion at that because he's a slow start, because it's proven you can get better. You can win without having the best of starts. But from the way I've seen him running, it looks like 200 meters, and probably more likely the 400 meters might, if he has the capacity to run the 400 meters well, that maybe is where he potentially can get a gold medal. 100 meters, I'm not sure. He's going to have to find a lot more in this running game. But the good thing about him is he finishes well, and that's what a lot of them don't do. A lot of them can fly at the start and then run out of gas and still win. So that's the positive he's got. He's got the pace at the end of the race. That is what's good about Gout Gout, and that's where he has an edge on others if he can get everything else improved. If he gets his starts, well, look out. He could be the next fastest man on earth. But whether he gets there, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not convinced. of that, but I still think he's potential of maybe getting a bronze medal, maybe in the 200 meters, especially in 400 meters, maybe in gold, maybe potentially going that way inclined. The 100 meters, he's got a lot more work to do, in my opinion. But we will see how this young teenager goes going forward. And lastly, yes, Stephanie McMahon. What's happening here in the Hall of Fame? The Undertaker comes out and says in 2026, you're going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, Stephanie McMahon. What do I actually think of it? I think it's absolutely ludicrous. A family member goes into the Hall of Fame. It just, to me, it just doesn't seem right to me. Yes, you worked in the business, you've worked hard and all that, but to go into the Hall of Fame, well, I guess she had been a wrestler and all that beforehand, all the talk and all that, but to me, just it doesn't feel right. I don't know if other people agree with me. That do you think that Stephanie McMahon deserves to be on the Hall of Fame? Because you're starting to cheapen the brand, in my opinion, if you're putting all these people into the Hall of Fame. I know for the business side, she would have done a lot, undoubtedly, but actually, it's a tough one. Where do you see the Hall of Fame? Is it about the business, or are you about actual wrestling? Because there's no doubt about it that on top of their list, even a lot of people hate him, Hulk Hogan is at the top of their list in terms of bringing the people. He actually done the business, but he done the business as well as being the wrestler. He was the business. Hulk Hogan, he brought the most people to the game, and no one has ever got to his level since then. So Hulk Hogan is the one. But in terms of Stephanie McMahon deserving to be on the Hall of Fame, well, not for me, but it's for others to judge, and congratulations to her anyway. But anyway, that's Barry Charles news for this episode. So Jimmy Kimmel's out the door. Oh no, he's not. He's back. Also, Gout Gout, is he going to be the next sensation since Usain Bolt? Let's hope so, but a lot of work to go to get to that level. And Stephanie McMahon, well, she's going in the Hall of Fame, so congratulations to her. That's Barry Charles news for this episode. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next video.